So one day I was scrolling mindlessly on social media, as one does, when the algorithm recommended a post to me that had an unusually large number of angry emojis attached to it. The post was an announcement from a local outreach page about a new store opening in Raleigh, North Carolina called Petopia, self-described as a business where you could purchase locally sourced, humanely raised designer pets. But when I expanded the comments, the outrage became clear. In the midst of a pet overpopulation crisis and the existence of an estimated 10,000 puppy mills operating across the United States, commenters were greatly concerned about a retail pet shop opening up and charging $6,000 for each puppy, though pricing was later removed from their site as the story went viral. So amidst the anger, the page quickly deleted the post. But concerned advocates had already launched a petition to urge city officials to prevent the opening of the new business. Signatures were racking up every day as more and more people learned about the story. Despite this response, Petopia has opened its doors. Other regions have made their stance on puppy mills and retail pet shops clear with laws that prohibit their activities or existence, laws that animal rescue and welfare advocates say can play a critical role in preventing unnecessary suffering and better lives for pets and animals of all kinds. In our 7th episode of Changemaker Cafe Animal Rescue Series, we'll take a look at how legislation and policies impact companion animals' lives for the better or worse. We'll look at examples of these laws, including some surprising ones, and what community leaders and the everyday changemaker like you or me can do to encourage laws that make a positive impact. Miss our other episodes? Have no fear. You can find the others on our channel and check out our other topics while you're at it too. As always, download our series action guide for resources and tips to tackle these issues in your community, whether you're aiming to start a nonprofit or socially conscious business, serve as a volunteer or board member, raise funds or awareness, and more at changemakercafe.com. Thank you to Click and Pledge for sponsoring this series. Are you ready? Let's get curious. Across the world, a variety of legislation exists on the books to define our relationship with and responsibilities towards animals. Some laws represent a big win for animal advocates. For example, in 2024, for the first time in its nation's history, Mexico just included animal rights in its national constitution, outlining provisions against animal cruelty in a variety of situations. Mexico is joining 9 other countries with mentions of animal welfare in their constitutions: Austria, Brazil, Egypt, the European Union, Germany, India, Luxembourg, Slovenia, and Switzerland. On the other hand, some laws have caused a great deal of frustration for animal advocates, like the Dangerous Dog Act, passed in the United Kingdom and Wales in 2023. That outlaws pet owners from owning certain types of dog breeds. This includes pit bulls, a breed once considered so lovable it made appearances on famous TV shows like The Little Rascals. Now you might be wondering, what happens if you're caught with a banned breed in the UK? Well, you can try to prove it's not actually the criminalized breed with genetic testing, or try to get a certificate of exemption proving the dog is not dangerous. This is meant to be an avenue for some who owned one of these breeds before the act was passed. Otherwise, according to their government website, you can face a fine and or up to 6 months of jail, and your dog will be euthanized. There are generally 4 categories of laws relating to animals. There's anti-cruelty laws, which prohibit intentional harm or neglect of animals. There's animal welfare laws, which require certain standards be met for animals in research, exhibition, or transportation. There's licensing and leash laws, which require pet registration and control in public. And then there's pet lemon laws, which protect people purchasing pets from breeders or pet stores by making sure pets are healthy. So how important are these laws when it comes to saving pets' lives and improving animal well-being? I spoke to Chris Roberson, an attorney and member of the Volunteer Advisory Board at the Indianapolis Animal Care Services, to learn more.
So my name is Chris Roberson. I'm a volunteer at Indianapolis Animal Care Services. I volunteered for the past 2 years, and in March of this year I joined the IACS Advisory Board. Legislation and policy plays an important piece in the overall picture of animal welfare. It lays the foundation for how a community prioritizes how they treat animals. So without any rules or regulation, the community is able to do whatever they want in terms of how they treat animals. So it just helps create like a baseline understanding of the expectation of how animals are treated. It provides some teeth. So I think every community hopes that enforcement and penalties aren't the first line of communication with the public, but ultimately if individuals are not being responsible pet owners, then the law and policy provides a mechanism whereby the government can enforce certain standards for how animals are treated.
Enforcement seems like a key word here, but let's say municipalities do a good job of enforcing these laws. Do they make a difference? Ultimately, we're hoping laws will lead to a reduction in animal abuse or neglect cases, or a positive ripple effect on the efforts of animal shelters and rescue organizations. So how can communities assess if laws on the books are having those intended outcomes? Let's take a look at a few examples.
Pet stores in New York will no longer be allowed to sell dogs, cats, and rabbits. This is a new effort to crack down on abusive breeders and puppy mills. Advocates say animals are regularly mistreated at these large-scale breeding businesses. So instead, pet stores can charge humane societies and rescue organizations to have animals for adoption.
In December 2024, New York became the 5th state in the United States to ban the retail sale of pets, after California, Washington, Maine, Maryland, and Illinois. Additionally, more than 400 local governments, cities, and counties have also banned retail puppy sales. The legislation came after investigations by animal rights and rescue advocates to shine a light on overcrowding, malnutrition, and poor treatment of animals in puppy mills. The goal? To not only halt these operations, but also redirect people to adopt one of the millions of pets from animal shelter or rescue groups instead. And data from the Best Friends Animal Society seems to indicate it will work. According to the organization, in 2023, more than 415,000 dogs and cats were needlessly euthanized in shelters. They've estimated about 7 million people would acquire a pet in 2024. And if only 6% of them chose to adopt instead of purchase an animal, they could end euthanasia at shelters entirely. In some cases, like the city of St. Petersburg in Florida, the commercial sale of dogs and cats was banned, but pet store owners were asked to instead showcase animals from local rescues. When they did, more people were able to adopt pets that might not have had a chance at a home otherwise. Advocates point out that while laws can save pets' lives while reducing burdens on animal shelters and rescue groups, the absence of these laws also puts a direct and immediate strain on rescue efforts. For example, in 2011, the Humane Society of the United States helped rescue over 160 Malamutes from a puppy mill. After all of the transportation, medical, and other costs, the rescue cost the organization and its partners almost $500,000. tackling puppy mills is one area of legislation advocates believe can make a huge impact on rescue efforts, but it's not the only one. Other policies advocates are asking for include charging fines to pet owners who refuse to spay or neuter their pet, with a goal of combating pet overpopulation and unnecessary euthanasia. Or protections for the pets of victims of domestic violence, since one report showed that 71% of victims said their abusers also targeted their pets. Or laws around how long animal shelters have to keep stray pets at a minimum before releasing them or euthanizing them. Wondering what the laws are in your region? You can look them up on your city, county, or state websites, or use animal rights legal resources like the Animal Legal Defense Fund or the Animal Legal and Historical Center at Michigan State University. I'll be sure to include those links and resources in our series action guide. Okay, so here's the good news. Individuals and organizations play a big role in raising awareness about these issues and encouraging this legislation to go through. We'll cover the steps to advocate for policies in your community in a future video, but it's the perfect time to start brainstorming. Laws can help communities save pets' lives. It's time for our Changemaker Challenge. You know how it goes. Here's what you do. You get your brain working. You think about all the ways that you can use your unique skills and talents to mobilize your community and encourage laws and policies that help animals. And jump down into the comments and share all your thoughts there. It might be organizing efforts to contact legislators. It could be raising awareness about issues or other ways to make an impact. In videos 1 through 7, this one right here, of our animal rescue series, we took some time to understand the different challenges and aspects of animal rescue work. But in our next video, we're going to take a look at some exciting solutions people are trying out across the country to address these challenges. So make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and that you've turned on alerts. We'll be learning about what's working to keep inspiring us to figure out how we can lead change in our communities too. There's just one last thing to share with you before we go, and that is a sincere thank you to our sponsor making this series possible, Click and Pledge. Click and Pledge is a comprehensive fundraising platform for nonprofits ready to raise money and grow their impacts. They've got robust fundraising features that include things like donation forms, features to help you raise money at in-person events, text to give, peer-to-peer fundraising so you can send your supporters out to form teams and raise money for your cause on your behalf. Video fundraising with donation links embedded directly in the videos, donor outreach tools to improve donor retention, a complete Salesforce integration, and more. Some fundraising platforms are going to charge more based on how many donors you have or your size of your organization, but Click and Pledge doesn't do that. Their pricing stays the same even as your donor list increases. And there are no contracts, and all of their solutions are included at no extra cost. I hope you go learn more about Click and Pledge's fundraising solutions, and you can get your first month free using the link below. You can get in contact with them to ask questions or schedule a demo, or sign up to give it a try right now. Like I said, you can find all of the links to get started below this video. All that said, I'll see you in the next episode of Changemaker Cafe.